What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Supernatural and trying to find a use for them with their buffs with this Dark Hunters team and what to do with them before we get Morbius and Brother Voodoo, or Dr. Voodoo. His name's Dr. Voodoo. I keep calling him Brother Voodoo. We're going to talk about what you can be doing with Elsa, Ghost Rider, and Mordo in the meantime while you're waiting for your Dark Hunters. This is not like a permanent fixture on the team, but it is an option. Like, if you're not going to be getting the two new Dark Hunters in Morbius and Dr. Voodoo, this will give you an idea of what you could possibly do with them in the meantime. So we're going to break that down in today's video. If you guys do enjoy this video, you do find it helpful, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Let's dive right into it. So there are some pretty significant buffs here. Number one, Ghost Rider is top 10 on a lot of stats now, like really good in damage, really good in health, and he is a very fast character at 127 speed, so he's faster than someone's, like, say, your Eternals. He goes one speed faster than Icarus, and he has his passive where whenever a negative effect is applied to any enemy, fill the speed bar of self and all Supernatural and Dark Hunter allies by 3%. So the goal is to basically get a lot of negative effects out with this team, and in my testing, I wanted to see originally what I could do with those three Supernatural, and I said, you know what, like, let's try new Warriors, and we're gonna try quite a bit with new Warriors. There's a buff to Baron Mordo with his special, where if he has 4 or more Mystic allies present, his blind has a 75% chance to spread to 3 other targets on his blind. And that's going to be significant. You combine that in with the ultimate from Cloak at the first turn. Cloak's pretty solid speed at 120 speed. Dagger uses her ultimate that second turn. They can get a lot of blind, defense down, offense down, negative, disrupt. Really a lot of stuff. And you can pretty much get blind across the entire enemy team with both those characters present. And this is what I use in a lot of my testing. Now, in terms of trying to find some good use of this team, there were times where I took Elsa out. Elsa's still kind of a liability. She's the one, it's weird. Like, even with her buffs, she doesn't bring any negative effects to the table. She brings a lot of damage, but the negative effects are what really drives the Supernatural team, and this is where she's kind of lacking. Now, granted, I've only got a tier 13 Elsa. Maybe when she goes to tier 14 and I get some blue ISO on her, maybe her damage will get better. But right now, she's still kind of lacking for the testing I'm trying. So I brought in Hela quite a bit. The Gregs, whenever they die, it allows ability energy to be spread through Mordo's passive. Every time on a death of a Mystic, heal self and most injured Supernatural ally 15% of his max health, and 1 to 2 ability energy for self and to that ally. You bring in those Gregs. This is nothing new. Hella Natural, it is an established team. So I want to see if maybe Hella Natural can do a bit better now. We bring in new Warriors, see if there's a buff there, and that's what we really came out to. So it was the big buff to Mordo with, like, the Mesmerize here, 4 more Mystic allies, blind additional targets up to 75% from 50%. That's great. And you'll see there are times where I don't put blind on the whole enemy on 3 targets. It's only like 1 or 2. It seems to be that weird roll of the dice. We got Hela here. One of these days, I started to take her up to tier 15 a long time ago. I changed my mind. I really should take her up to 15 at some point. I will in the future, but yeah. Ghost Rider, Mordo, Dagger, Cloak, and then Hela or Elsa. That's really what I was doing in a lot of my testing. So that's what I'm going to show you guys in the footage today. And what I'm pretty much starting with right here is going to be a punch across against Black Order, which, like, think about it this way. We're trying to figure out what we can do to show what Supernatural can do now with these buffs and with a little bit of help. See what we can get out of our Supernatural. Now, you could obviously bring in like Silver Surfer or Kestrel, plenty of other characters with new Warriors that should be able to tackle your Black Order, but now this is another option. You bring in Ghost Rider, you bring in Mordo, that increased chance for blind, you spread things around with Hela. Yeah, we're trying to find some things here that kind of make it a little bit easier, a little more beneficial for bringing in Supernatural, and this is one option here. Get a couple bleeds out, and then we just start going crazy with Cloak and Dagger. You can see a lot of blinds there. We got a blind on both Thanos, Cole Obsidian, and Proxima, which is very helpful because Cloak is now very low on health. We're going to stun Thanos, and we're going to try to apply more blinds, and there we go. Now we got a blind on Corvus as well. Nothing on Ebony Maw because he has immunity. yeah, there's not much you can do there, but we can chain down the road here, take out Proxima, and our goal here at this point is pretty much to get rid of Thanos before he can do his ultimate. If he does that ultimate, probably not going to work out too well. We also have to be careful of Cloak here. Cloak is a hero controller that will give the charge and barrier up on the Black Order team. And this was a bit of a bad luck. We target Cole Obsidian here with the ultimate from Hela, and that's supposed to spread out negative effects. And Thanos pretty much resists all of them. Go figure. Maybe if I had a tier 15 Hela, maybe that would have been better. But, of course, Thanos resists everything. Ebony Maw still has immunity on him. No dice. So now we can kind of hope that in combination of killing off Greg's and then healing back up. Every time I kill a Greg, too, remember, I'm healing up my characters. That's kind of helping me heal things back up. Like, you can see how low my health is on Ghost Rider now, but those Gregs dying off is healing things back up because of the passive on Mordo. Very nice. Could be something to consider, possibly a healer ISO on Mordo. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud, but yeah, you know, maybe that would help. Maybe his passive here would help out with that. At this point, we are just going straight for Thanos. We need to get him taken care of. We're running low on health. This is a dicey one because of that. But also, remember, Thanos is Mystic, so we kill off Thanos here, and Thanos takes a ton of damage here. 460k on that ultimate from Dagger. She's got offense up on her. And I also have them positioned in a very interesting way here. I may change this up. I may put Hela next to Dagger instead of Ghost Rider. I may change that up because, you know, that would help with the offense up and helping her to spread effects. Maybe that would be a little bit more beneficial to make sure that she can actually land those. There we go. We lost Hela. You didn't quite see it, but yeah, the Hellsteel from Ebony Maw killed off Hela. A little more healing ability energy on our team. And now we're just going to finish off. We're just going to finish off Ebony. Get a nice little stun in here with him, with Mordo. This is why I do have Skirmisher on Mordo, just to make sure those stuns and those blinds do land when he gets the chance to land them. And there you go. That was a punch. That was a slight, I mean, it was like a 10k punch up versus Black Order. But for fairness, we'll just say that was a punch across. Now, here's one where we bring in Elsa. And it probably would have been better if I brought in Hela again here, because I could spread out negative effects quite a bit more. But we're pretty much going to be using the negative effects that Cloak and Dagger are putting out to help drive the speed bar on characters like Mordo and Ghost Rider. And we're going to use Mordo's blind and stun to really kind of shut down XMen. And this is a significant punch up. I was kind of surprised. Actually, yeah, this is why we don't bring in Hela. So now that I'm thinking about it, this is a terrible idea. Don't bring in Hela. Yeah, Hela would destroy this because they just kill Greg's, gain a lot of speed bar. Never mind. Disregard, we're not bringing in Hela. I know people are like screaming in the comment section right now. No Hela, no Hela, no. Sector not clear, not clear. But yeah, at this point, we're just gonna go crazy. Now, there is a little bit of RNG here. I do need to mention this. If there was no speed down on Elsa right now, she would be going next, and Cloak would be a little more free to do some stuff. So Elsa should usually go first. If there was no speed down on her, she would be moving before Cloak here. It's just freak RNG. It doesn't really change anything. So if you guys do this fight and you see someone else, or you see Elsa move before someone else here, that's just the way the match turned out because of the assist attack from Iceman. Again, does not really change anything here. In fact, I could argue it's probably a little more beneficial because now you get Cloak out a little bit quicker. You can actually get like defense down a couple characters and let Elsa do her thing with her ultimate here in a second. So there we go. Also the dodges from the enemy team with that, with the evade with Kitty Pryde. Now you've got Elsa retaliating for that. So yeah, stun beast here. Obviously, we don't want him cleansing. We don't want his buffs out. That is a no-go. We are going to do the ultimate there from Elsa. Solid damage. Tier 13 going into a big punch up here. 200k on the character with defense down. She's got offense up. It's not the worst. Yeah, so I mean, when we gear her up in the future, we get better striker ISO on her. This damage will go up. It's just right now not quite enough. But there we go. Beast is seconds from dying. Chain down the road. Boom, boom. Beast is gone. We still have a blind on Jubilee here. Blind on Iceman. And really, you're probably wondering, like, well, you got Cloak here to do the blind. It's really as a it's like an insurance mechanism. You want to make sure you get those blinds out in the entire enemy team. Like, you know how powerful it is with Magneto and his blinds. It's the same kind of concept here. Now, of course, this is also really cool. I like how, like, she's doing like 27k on each of her hits and then 35k on this. I do have the T4 on her basic here, actually. I'll show you. I did T4 this because, I mean, that's a lot of piercing damage. You're talking 5 times 75. Wish I had done the math beforehand. 300. You're talking 600% damage. 600% piercing damage with this attack here. So, yeah, as we gear her up, she has one of the better damage stats in the game. She has damage levels equivalent to Doom. So, again, as I gear her up, as I get better gear on her, as I upgrade the Striker ISO, this should do better. It's just right now, tier 13, is that 13 to 14 is where you can see that really big boost in the stats. That's part of reworks, apparently. So, yeah, she's not quite there yet, but I do find it funny that then she does her ISO attack and it's like 65k. So, you know, it's a little funny that her ISO attack is doing more damage than each of her individual attacks from her basic. That's the way it works. Finish off Iceman here. He's going to revive. We'll just kill him again. Actually, we'll just use the ultimate here. Of course, dodge from Kitty Pryde. And then we'll finish off Kitty. So this was a good 200k punch up. And I tried this a few times just to make sure this wasn't like a fluke. This is pretty consistent. It can get a little screwy depending on who gets attacked by Bishop, and if it's like a blind from Jubilee on the assist. Yeah, it can get a bit messy, but for the most part, this was really consistent, and I was surprised. I said, you know what, skirt, let's just shoot for the moon on this one, and it works. So I'm very surprised to see this one work. Looks like a solid XMen counter with this team here. You know, you bring in the blinds with Mordo, Cloak, and Dagger. It drives a speed bar on your Supernatural. They're moving a lot more. Izzy. Okay, there you go. Go on. It never fails. The cat, as soon as I start recording, the cat wants to start howling her head off. Anyways, where were we? So I said, you know what? Let's try Emma. Let's see what happens here. Now, weak Strife. You know, it doesn't have Mystique. It's got Minerva and Ghost. Take it as you will. I mean, we're seeing these Emma teams get broken up left and right, trying to figure out like different plug-and-play options. Minerva and Ghost are both popular options. But I said, you know what? Let's see what we can do here. And I did bring in Hela for this one. And honestly, it's hard to say how much of a difference she made here because Emma's just going to cleanse everything right away. This, I think, this will be a completely different story once we get Morbius in, because Morbius will kind of drive how this fight works, because he is 1 speed faster than Ghost Rider, and his ultimate on war offense will flip defense up and deflect. So this should be a much, much more manageable fight when you're going up against this kind of team with Morbius there. It shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, I mean, you could possibly get there in such a way that you could get like a stun on Emma before she uses her special here with Morbius here, but that's not what we're really focused on today. Today we're trying to see if we can get like this team. Yeah, we're trying to see if we can spread some of these negative effects. Not quite. If I had just kind of timed it a little bit better, I could have possibly spread those negative effects from a Minerva, like the blind, onto the characters. Like, could have been nice. Could have gotten that blind on Ghost, maybe on Strife. Who knows? But now we're just gonna. There we go. Minerva's gone. Don't have much left for Strife over there. Does the ability block. That was not good. And then it extends with Ghost. Yeah, the Ghost version is a bit tricky because of that ability block. Like, the ability block with Strife, and then she can extend it. Not good. Not good at all. So now I've got two characters. I've got Dagger locked down with ability block, which is not good. Not good, Bob. We've got that offense up on Ghost. Doesn't do a lot of damage there because he's got the offense down. We're going to try to finish off Mr. Sinister here. I have noticed Mr. Sinister heals with his passive. When even if he's stunned, he will heal on that passive, which is a little crazy. But, I mean, hey, what are you going to do? So now we're going to try to finish off Dagger before she can chain, which we don't get we don't get that luck. Now we try to get some heal block on some characters. Goes dodges, of course. We're really close to losing Hela, but we got to get rid of this Dagger. I'm not a fan of this Dagger right now. Finish her off. We get some bleeds. We get some speed bar here. And now we're going to go for Emma, try to finish her off. Those heals from Dagger finally coming through on Hela. Try to stun Emma, which we do. Thank goodness. No point in wasting abilities there with Ghost Rider because he's got a blind on him. And there we go. Now we get the big hit in. We get that hit on Ghost. We get the offense up with Dagger. And does some solid damage there. 300k on Ghost. Finishes her off. 339 on Emma. Gets that defense down. Greg does his little explodey. And that's it. And just for the fun of it, you get to see how much damage Greg does to himself. 314k on a crit to himself. So, yeah, you know, it works against Emma too. This one, I don't think you really need Supernatural for. But I want to just see what we could do. And this was only like an hour of testing. Just see what we could find out with these. But then finally, we're going to wrap it up with New Warriors and Silver Surfer with a Drax here. Drax kind of soaking up some of these early hits. And again, this is one that's going to fundamentally change when Morbius comes into the game. Because Morbius will be able to go before Ghost Rider. And you're going to see, like, especially against that Silver Surfer, kind of make things a lot more manageable. So yeah, there we get the hit against Drax. We get the special in with Ghost Rider, but not enough speed bar for Mordo to go after Ghost Rider. Now we've got Silver Surfer coming in, and this is where Hela and her Greg comes into play, because now that's gonna help guarantee that your Cloak and Dagger move before the enemy Cloak and Dagger. You get some ability energy. No worries. No need to worry about the healing here. But now, there you go. You can see we got the dodge there on Cloak from the blind, but we got blind on both on Dagger and on Deathpool. That is going to be very, very helpful. And then we do the nice little blitz here with Cloak, and now everybody's got blind, everybody's got defense down, offense down, all that nasty stuff. Blind on Cloak, so his ultimate completely misses. Ultimate on Deathpool completely misses. We're going to chain down the line here. Do some nice damage to everybody. Of course, Cloak dodges. We're going to spread all those negative effects if we could. Of course, Silver Surfer resists everything again. But also, this is part of the problem because I've got villain cosmic enemy characters on my team. We've got the boost in resistance. Or I think I have that backwards. Basically, there's Hero Cosmic on his team. There's Villain Cosmic on my team. So he's got double his focus and resistance stats, basically. It's not ideal. But also because this is a full Mystic team I'm fighting against, every time I kill off one of them, I get a big heal on my team because of Baron Mordo's passive. And I also get ability energy on my team because of that passive. So it really all kind of like helps out in the end. There we go. We gotta get rid of Deathpool here. This is something I messed up the first time I tried this fight. I didn't kill Deathpool, completely forgot about it, and she just spread all of her negative effects. You don't want that. The Gregs here can also be a problem because that can fuel the passive from Deathpool too. So, you know, it is a little tricky. That's why I almost lost my Hela here at the beginning with that passive from Deathpool there. There you go, stun on Cloak. Stunned characters cannot dodge. So now you can just pick him off. And this should pretty much do it. So, you know, a few fights here. I think the 200k punch up against XMen was probably the most impressive one here. But yeah, I just kind of want to see what we could do in about an hour of testing, just see what I could find that would work with Supernatural, combine them together with something like New Warriors or Hela or something, just trying to mix and match, see what I could do with them. So let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys want me to try some of the combinations with this Supernatural until the Dark Brotherhood? Oh my gosh, Dark Brotherhood, Dark Hunters. the freaking terrible Dark Hunter's name. Do you guys want me to see, do you guys want me to try anything with the supernatural characters, with their buffs? Any other teams you guys want me to attempt with them? Let me know down below. But as always, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys next time.